Hello, hello, and welcome on into another episode of the Digital Quill Podcast. It's a very special episode indeed because I have a returning guest with me. Could you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
It is me. It is I, the Mad Monk.
And what do I owe the pleasure of experiencing with the Mad Monk today?
Why don't you start asking questions?
All right, my first question is I'm just going to rip my band aid off because I'm really excited and jazzed for this part. I heard on the Book of Vines, otherwise known as To Normal People Facebook, such a boring name, I think, that you might be starting a podcast.
Oh, my girl. It is not a maybe, it's a guarantee. Back in the early 2010s, I'm a big wrestling fan. So I got hooked up with a bunch of people and we would do a wrestling podcast. And I actually, was able to get tickets and go to wrestling events and things. So, and one of my biggest loves in life was professional wrestling. And I pursued it, went to professional wrestling school, did the whole thing. Met a lot of people, watched a lot of people who are big now, back in the early 2000s. When I graduated high school in 2000. So, yeah, and I went to pro wrestling school when I was 17. So that was 1999. And they told me, hey, when you're 18, come back. So I said, okay. And I went back. And I met a lot of dudes. And I see them now. And I am so proud of them. I'm not going to name names because that's just...
Some things are best kept private.
The SoCal professional wrestling scene back in the early 2000s was something. And it was a blast. And then to be able to get onto a podcast, in 2010 and just kind of, or in the 2010s, sorry, and talk about it, interview people. It was a blast. Then I broke off and I did another pro wrestling podcast with another guy, and I loved it. Like, just sitting there telling stories or talking about, what we watched, or who our, Mount Rushmore of wrestlers were, And when you gave me the opportunity to come back on and, just be a part of your universe, and I thank you immensely, it sparked something in me. And it's like, I got to do it. You had mentioned, I love your energy. You sound like you have a lot of stories, and I was like, okay. A lot of people have told me that they love my energy. So it's just time for me to sit down and cut the uncomfortableness out and just do it. I don't know how, but I'm just going to do it. I got a little setup. So, even if I just sit there and mumble on a damn mic and post it up somewhere, hopefully somebody will listen to it. But this to me is much more engaging when I can have a conversation with somebody. So it's just going to take practice. Being able to kind of map out like, hey, what's on my mind today? Or what happened over the weekend? And just kind of start from there and see where it goes. This is a whole, cosplay thing. And the whole maniacal monk thing is based off of Rasputin. The lover of the Russian queen.
Which is,
and
I'm
there's a
pretty
song,
sure how I found you on TikTok, and we talked a little bit about that last episode. Um, I'm sorry, by the way, about missing our date for the last podcast. Life was life, you know. You know how it
Yeah.
is.
Yes,
But I'm
I do.
really glad we're doing this right here, and that's before we get too deep into the why we're doing podcasts. I actually want to take a moment to branch off and ask you about that convention because you pretty much wore the same thing you're wearing right now. Right? Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Um, take me on the whole journey of that, and because I can't remember what you said when we talked about it last time. I know we talked about it last time. We literally led up to it because you were talking about it before you brought up going to the convention. And how about you take the stage? I'm just going to ramble.
So I've been going to this convention for the last 10 years, and it's called Gallifrey One. And it's been going on for 36 years. So 26 years prior to me showing up, it's been going on. And it's a show called Doctor Who.
Okay.
And it's a British show. And it started back in, way back when. And then it got canceled for a while. They made a movie. And then sorry, my, dates and times, can't come up with them right now.
It's fine.
So forgive me. Everybody out there on the video scope and TV land, I'm sorry. But, it's a very interesting show, sci-fi show, all encompassing. And in the, 2010s, I guess, it came back. Forgive me of the dates. Sorry. And I got hooked. And because my cousin had sent me a DVD set. He goes, "Hey, I think you'll like this." I'm like, "Okay." So I watched it. I went nuts. So then fast forward to a couple of years, about 3 years ago, in the show, there's the hero and villain, right? So there's the Doctor, and then you got the Master. Well, the Master is the evil dude. Well, he transformed himself into Rasputin somehow, and here I am. So the last 3 years, I've done this. Apparently, it's been a thing. 3 years ago, they have all sorts of things at this convention. Autograph signings, they got a dealer's room, they got all sorts of shit, right? And the people from the show go to those conventions so you can, like I said, buy their autograph, get pictures taken with them, like, Comic-Cons and all that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And people also cosplay as different characters throughout the 60-year history of the show.
Typical, like, Comic-Con convention type stuff.
Right, but it's all encompassing. You'll see, Star Wars characters, Star Trek characters, but it's mainly around Doctor Who. And with the whole beard thing, there was, the Master turned himself into Rasputin, so I was kind of like, hey, that can work. And I made it work. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, there are women that were like, who's that? That's hot Rasputin right there. I had no idea. I had no clue. I was just going around being me. But apparently, I got chicks like, what's happening? What's going on? Oblivious. I don't know. Sometimes I hear about you hear the flip thing? I don't know. Or the oblivious. I'm in my own world, doing my own thing. But that's a credit, is you never know who you're going to affect by just being yourself or encompassing something and just being yourself. Like, example, the first year I did it, I was very uncomfortable. They didn't have this costume. but I had the hair and the beard. There was a disabled child that came up to me in a wheelchair. He's screaming from across the room, "You're dressed as my favorite character. I love you." I'm like, holy crap. So again, actor mode, turn it on. Like, dude, you want pictures? Because a big thing at the convention is ribbons. And people will give you ribbons with stuff on the show or anything they can come up with.
Interesting.
You know, I personally make buttons. So I pass out buttons to people, you know, based off of the show. Or, hold on one second. I give out poison daffodils.
Are they actually poisoned?
No.
Okay.
They're fake. But in the show, the original master, when his first episode, he showed up and he owned a plastic company and he made poison daffodils. And when you got close to them or breathed on them, they suffocated you and you died.
Interesting.
Yeah, campy, you know, 60s kind of stuff, you know, campy 60s James Bond kind of ish stuff. You know what I mean?
I actually want to watch all of the James Bond movies because Netflix just got them. Which one should I start with? They have all of them, by the way, like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the early 2000s, like all of them.
There's one with Sean Connery. I'm going to have to tell you off camera.
Okay.
Because I'm sorry. I can't think of it right now. My cousin is a big James Bond fan, so I'm going to have to shoot it over to him.
Okay. I want to start that development in my world because one year I started watching all the Matrix, and then I'm like, you know, I think one year is all the James Bond, and then another I'm going to rewatch all of the Quentin Tarantino possible. Just really get back into film. I have seen some Quentin Tarantino. It's been years, but come on, those movies are classics. I have to give them another watch at least every 5 years.
I have a sword from Kill Bill that's signed by David Carradine.
Nice. It's
and I'm a martial artist for life, so that's like pretty big. 70s kung fu, like.
If I'm ever out your way, allow me to grab my costume or like something of the sorts, because I have been described both in personality and also just in appearance of the main character of Kill Bill, because, you know, disgruntled woman power, we love it.
Hey girl, come on by.
But yeah, it's
problem at all.
We have cosplay options for sure now. For photo opportunities.
Totally.
Anyway.
Totally. But this year I really realized the power of this. Because I had no clue.
Of being yourself. Good. You need to realize the power. That is a magnificent power.
Well, it wasn't only females, it was dudes too. Because I ran into all sorts of people from the BBC and I had no idea. And they did various audios for Doctor Who or whatever. I had no clue who they were.
But they noticed you.
And I'm sitting there talking to them.
Nice.
Huh?
But they noticed you. Nice.
Oh my goodness. And I was like, I didn't know that these people were a part of, like, you pay to get autographs from them or whatever until the closing ceremonies, and I seen them on stage. I was like, holy crap. I was talking to this couple over here because out by the pool they had this putting green. So I was like, cool, let me do some little putt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And me and my cousin were talking to this one girl, and then he turns around and, you know, starts talking to these British people, and they were like, oh, do you think my accent is, you know, from Australia or England? And I was like, England. And my cousin goes, well, it's kind of Cockney too. And his wife turns around and goes, I'm surprised you got that. Wow. And I'm like, you smart son of a gun. So when they were on stage, I'm like, oh my goodness, I was sitting there talking to them, and they were like, "Hey, nice cosplay," whatever. I'm just kind of like, okay, I don't want to get a big head about it, but it's really freaking hard when you walk in single and you walk out not single.
That's fair. New relationship jitters.
But I'm exaggerating. Okay, so that's the tea that is now 37 minutes old. The person that I met there just turned around and we solidified things before this podcast airs, or before we recorded this podcast. Sorry, I'm kind of all like
No, you're fine. You're fine. Feel your feelings.
I'm like, my goodness, that I didn't expect that to happen.
Life is full of mystery.
See, and that's the thing, is you just never know. But like, she asked me for, a picture. I was like, cool, and she was the main one that tells me, like, yeah, there's chicks that notice you like crazy. I'm like, shut up. Like, really? No. She's like, trust me. And she told me about the couch situation. And who's that dude over there? I'm like, oh, man, that's wild. Because, we don't see ourselves that way, right?
Of course not.
But to hear that, I mean, kind of like, just, sit there like, yeah, man.
You're walking on cloud nine there.
Dude, like, are you freaking kidding me, man? I told her, I said, what you just said, I could turn around and power the rocket to the moon with the fucking energy I got. Sorry.
You're okay.
But holy jeez. It's like totally unexpected. And just like stuff happens. So I'm telling you, I walk in next year, it's going to stir up some stuff. And I look forward to it.
A little bit
Not
of
bad stuff, good stuff.
a little bit of energetic chaos in the form of like neutral good in a way.
Big time.
We do like neutral
Because
good.
listen,
Chaotic
maybe
good?
a little chaos. Not going to lie. Because I guess, this whole kind of thing is a little intimidating to people. Because for some reason, I just naturally, people will ask me for pictures and things like that. And I have props with me and stuff, but naturally I just go into this kind of look. And I've been told by many people that I have an intense look on my face all the time.
A little bit. Just a
I'm
little.
like, well, see, even you recognize it. I'm like, I don't mean it,
You
And-
exude teddy bear energy, but you have that kind of don't mess with me look. You might have scary dog privilege. Just saying. And that's a good thing. I don't have scary dog privilege.
But, for me, I'm just kind of like, I'm just me. So, my girlfriend, live and in color, first time I ever said that right here, baby. Okay, you got it first.
Tell
She
me
turns
more
around
about her
and
soon.
She told me, like, you've got like a dark mysteriousness about you. When you wear this, there's something about you. And that's when she started to tell me, like, people notice and people look and she hears comments and stuff. And well, she struck first. She was I was doing a costume masquerade and she was at the sign up table. And when I walked up to that table, like, I don't know, I'm even getting that feeling right now. Like, my heart's getting a little, my stomach's little, and I don't know, man. It was like, I felt it, but, it was just kind of, you just be yourself. but then I encountered her several times during the convention, and it was just like, wow. And we exchanged Facebooks, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to shoot her my number. What the heck?
Shoot your shot, as they say.
I did. And that's what I told her. I said, why not? Shoot my shot. What the heck? What do I got to lose?
Nothing.
I shot my shot, several times, and it was just kind of like, whatever, There were some that when they see me in my natural form, they were like, oh, that's a bummer. But whatever, it's a costume, it's a thing,
With you being a theater kind of person, theater nerd. I don't want to sound mean when I say that, but I love theater nerds.
I encompass that. That's perfect.
I need your help. I need you
Sure.
to be thinking about it in the back of your mind. I want to
Gotcha.
create a digital theater of sorts, or a theater space, because a theater friend of mine recently highlighted a problem in the theater world. They usually want younger people, and it's because it's easier to cast them, and it's usually people right outside of like theater school and stuff, or inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to create a theater department of sorts where it doesn't really matter how like old or young you are, like not like depending on like stuff, but like I just want to allow the people the space to act and be, if that's what they want to do, instead of chasing money and fame, if that makes sense. So
and that's why you created the digital cool media, so you can put that
partly,
kind of stuff. Yeah.
And with you starting your podcast, it might start to prove beneficial for us to start thinking of ways to create a digital theater empire. I just hit the mic. Sorry, Mike. Because I can't do that alone. If I've learned anything about theater troupe, it's a group of people. No one runs a theater by themselves, and if they did, that's just insanity, and honestly, more power to them, but I am one person. I need help.
Then let's push this on your Discord server.
Okay.
Put it out there. Put it out there on TikTok. If people are serious and they want to do this, then it can happen. There's all sorts of things out there that you can do. But, digital rights, copyright things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if people want original content, like you have a writer's corner on your Discord.
Mm-hmm.
If there are people that are willing to, hey, use my stuff, engage that community more. That's one thing I don't see. Okay, and I'm going to be completely open with this. Okay, because I went into the writing corner and was like, let me kind of express myself a little bit. Crickets. And personally, if I'm there and I don't get any engagement, why am I there? So let's pump out like, hey guys, let's engage more. Let's do more. Because why are they there? Why do you have 60 some odd people there and only a few engage? Like, I'm just critiquing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I say it with love. I don't say it with,
No, I understand. I got you.
Because that was one of the things that got me. I was kind of like, well, what the heck? Why isn't anybody engaging? Like, let's go. I try to do my best. I see, it gives you the little notifications that are new stuff. So, if it's worth engaging for me, I'm going to try my best to engage.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to push this out on your socials. because you got people out there. I see them engage on, your videos on TikTok. I see them engage on your Facebook. So it's like, hey, folks, you want to do something, here's a platform for you to do it. If you don't mind putting it out there, and then, hey, thespians of the world, because that's what we have access to now is the world.
Mm-hmm. World Wide Web.
Yeah. So thespians of the world, come. You're welcome. Just don't be a jerk.
Yes, please, no jerks. Unless you can teach us how to do the jerk, because I do not remember how to do that. The last time that segment came on, I was like, I think I have to shuffle my feet in a certain pattern. But I appreciate the advice on that one and the assessment. That is something I've notated myself. On that front, when you are thinking of your future podcast that you are starting soon, when's your first episode dropping first?
Honestly, that's like the pressure right there. I don't really know. I'm just in the mode of where to do it, how to do it, where to post it. Like, I have a YouTube page, but it's mainly full of foolishness. And like it's got some of my, pro wrestling stuff, even though it's like a big match with these two guys, and then you see me for like 2 seconds. But it's still there, it's still out there, and then me being drunk somewhere in Vegas, and it's not very, or me visiting Dean Martin's grave. I'm a big Dean Martin fan. I'm a big Frank Sinatra fan. Like, yeah, that's my jam right there. Other than that, like, reggae is my stuff too, But yeah, I'm trying to work on a intro, and once I get that locked down and kind of a first kind of like, what the heck is this going to be all about? Because I have no idea. I just have the idea I want to start something. That's why I say engagement for me is easier, other than being solo. And we talked about this on the previous podcast that I was on. The way that I envy, you're able to just turn that camera on and talk. And it's going to take practice. Maybe the, first 100 episodes are going to be shit, but I need to just do it.
You have seen the first 100 episodes of this show, right?
I have not.
I wouldn't exactly call them shining pieces of diamond, but I hear what you're saying. Just from a person who has started a podcast, i.e. we're on it right now, would you like me to kind of take you on my journey of the podcast and like whatnot, just to kind of maybe help you give help you get some ideas flowing?
I would.
Okay. A long, long time ago in a land far, far away, a young girl sat in her apartment. I guess not quite young, but not quite old, somewhere in between. I don't know. Numbers are weird. But anyway, in her apartment she sat, pondering what to do next if she wanted to get her voice out there. Not only get her voice out there, but find her voice and become comfortable with who she is, because let's be honest, she likes to talk. And talk a lot, she does. And talk to people she likes doing. And talk a lot to people she does. I started the show with a few things in mind, because I am writing my first book, and when you're a first-time author, one of the very first things that will kill your ability to make a return on investment on the amount of money that you spend on publishing and marketing a book in the 21st century, I needed to grow an audience and a network and a friend gathering, because I don't really necessarily want a bunch of strangers reading my first book. I want people who know my heart and soul to some extent, because That's how I've always done my social media stuff. What you see online is what you get of me. It's my thoughts, it's my soul, it's my heart. I am a documentarian by heart. I am a photographer and filmographer by heart. Like, I love film, I love theater, I love storytelling, I love all of it. And podcasting is pretty much the modern way to do at least a dozen of the things that I love.
Well, I think of it as like, old time radio.
Pretty much. You
if
can
you-
have like a
if you go
radio
to-
show. Like a...
If you go to archive.org, they have a lot of old time radio shows, and that's where I found the Colgate Hour with Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Holy
won't regret
heck. Can you send me that link? Wait, no, hold on. Let me write it down. What did you say it was?
Search for archive.org.
Archive.org. Okay.
And the Colgate Hour. Like the toothpaste, Colgate. And
Cool.
it's the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis radio show.
Okay. I will
You-
have to do that
you
as a
will
homework.
You will not regret it. So that's why I say, you want people to engage on your stuff, do it. This is the modern radio right here. Continue.
So, the person I cohabitate with and live with, they kind of already have their own podcast going up. It's a very simple setup. A microphone and a camera. And a computer, of course. You gotta have a means of being able to record. I recommend OBS. I was already on Substack as a platform for blogging and writing articles and doing like press for musicians, or trying to do press for musicians, because I like writing press reviews and making it all professional looking, and I also like making some of the press reviews a little bit more like entertainment based and personal, because it's like, I don't like all the red tape and bureaucracy of the like cold-hearted part of the industries of stuff, but at the same time, sometimes the red tape in industries make sense, I guess.
Right.
So, like, I use the internal platform of Substack to push my YouTube or my podcast episode video and audio to Substack and YouTube. I don't know if it's on Apple Podcasts. I haven't been able to understand the Apple world, because there's red tape in the Apple world, and I'm a Samsung person. I don't understand Apple. I used to. But do you have an iPhone?
Yes.
Okay. It will be easier for you to set up your RSS feed for your podcast on Apple Podcasts, because you should already have like a built-in iTunes account somewhere. I don't know how that works. I'm sure someone can walk you through that. But the thing that I've learned about podcasting in my time of doing it and listening to other people and how they started is, don't overthink it. Just start somewhere and like build and increase as time goes on. Like, if you take 100 episodes to tweak things and figure things out, you take 100 episodes to tweak things and figure things out. It's kind of part of the fun in a way, because it's like, what's this setting do? What's that setting do? What's this plugin do? What's that plugin do? Oh, that kind of wiped my entire motherboard. That's scary. I actually haven't actually ran into that problem yet, but I'm sure it's out there. So, I guess my 3 biggest tips for you. You already have a logo. I saw that. That's more than I started with. You have a good setup here right now. I can clearly see and hear you. So we're good there. Sound and video check, perfect. You don't even have to do video episodes if you don't want to, but I suggest you do, because why not? It's you can mess with character adjustments and stuff that way too. Kind of get to know yourself on the camera again. And then I guess just keep the YouTube you already have. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's no need to create a new one. It's part of your journey as is, and it's just another phase in your development as you grow, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. So it's, and it's also something for me to do, on my off time. Occupy myself instead of just sitting around.
Okay.
You sit around, idle hands are the devil's playground.
Yeah, that's true.
So give me something to do. And, I had a lunch with my high school drama teacher about a year ago. And I sought him out. And him and I, we butted heads like crazy, because what you see is what you get, and I'm not afraid to say something. But ultimately, we created beautiful things together and we had a great relationship. And I sought him out and we had lunch, and he was telling me about one of his other students, because he had moved on to other teaching places after the high school that I was at. And he was like, you know what? He started, this stuff, and now he's, doing big stuff. And I'm like, well, great. Well, how do you do it? And he goes, starts with step one. He goes, just like you said, just do it. And you'll do it. And then before you know it, you're going to look back on a year and you're going to see how far you've come. Well, it's like when I go to the bookstore and I go, oh, this is an interesting book. And I'm like, cool. And I'll just go set it on my shelf. And it'll sit there for like 6 months. And I'm like, I'm bored. I want to read something. So I'll grab that book and I freaking read it. And I'm like, holy crap, I love it. True story. It happened with a Buddhist monk named Thich Nhat Hanh. He passed away 2 years ago. And the book that did it for me was called Anger and the Wisdom to Cool the Flames. And you will laugh through that entire book because he just puts it so simply. Because I knew I had a problem. I'm a hothead. All this emotion and all this energy doesn't come with some aggression, doesn't come with some something,
Some oomph.
Now, yeah. So I sat down in front of the Eastern philosophy section at a bookstore and was like, I'm not leaving until I find a book. And that's the book I found. I went home, sat it on my shelf, dug it. So then I got home, or I was at work, and I'm like, I'm bored. The lady next to me, she's reading a book. So why don't I read a book? Then all of a sudden she's like, what are you laughing at? And I'm like, this guy, he just puts things so simply, like not a big deal. And it's a book that you have to like go back to. You know what I mean? Like kind of lose, it's like you got it when you read it and you kind of lose your way and let me read it again. Or let me remember, what the book talked about and how to turn around and, cycle through that stuff when you feel
re-access the toolbox
something.
when you need it.
Yeah. And hey, maybe that's something I'll sit there and talk about. That's a subject right there.
Now, since you are into theater, I assume you might have ways of crafting very simple costumes that can kind of sell an image, if that makes sense.
Craft? No. Buy? Yes.
Okay. You're reading from a book. And maybe we green screen it or something. I don't know. There's a library behind you. Or do you have a bookshelf in your place of recording at the moment?
I do not.
We can green screen it. Possibly. There's a lot of
There
tools
you go.
online.
Yes.
You're reading a book and you have maybe the grandfather glasses on and a bubble pipe or something. think oh, we have glasses. I shit you not, those are perfect.
Yeah, and these are my actual glasses too. Thanks.
Hold on. It's a very aesthetic choice. It frames you perfectly. It's good. It's not. Don't take it a wrong way. Gosh.
No, I'm messing with you.
And
Don't
I'm
worry
messing
about
with you right back. All right, but now do we have like a news? So the kind of hat I'm thinking is very newspaper boy like, if that makes sense. Kind of flat, but not really. Not really a beret, but
I kind of know the hat you're talking about. Yeah.
after the show, if I remember, I'll try to find a picture and send it to you.
I got you.
But then again, this is also your costume. I'm just giving you suggestions. I'm not
Well,
a costume.
I'm not putting a hat on this thing. This wig sucks.
That's
I
fair.
hate this damn thing. There are times where I just turn around during the convention where I just get fucking hot and I just pull the bitch off because I'm just like, man, I hate wearing this damn thing. You know, and as I showed you before, I actually used to have beautiful long hair. So I'm like, man, if I would have been able to like still have it and dye it black, that'd be perfect. But, you know, genetics. Oh, well, I can buy it. Fuck it.
Genetics are indeed a, what's that phrase I'm looking for? Oh, yeah, a bitch. Genetics are a bitch.
Thanks, Dad.
So there is a small chance that I might be able to get you in touch with other people who also know like pro wrestling stuff because they're big fans themselves. Would you want a list of names and people to try to contact to be guests on your show? Because the reason I'm offering this, I fully encourage you to branch out and kind of talk to just anybody like I do. But I'm offering, I don't want to say easy conversations because I don't want to just assume. But like, they're people who already know subjects that you know. So I feel like they're fair, easy game to like kind of break the ice with and kind of like figure out your mold a little bit, if that makes sense.
Well, hey, you know what? Put them in contact with me
Okay.
and say, hey, you know, this guy wants to start his podcast. You want to bring him on and then just kind of do the same thing as, you know, we're doing. And then I can do the same. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just need to start.
That's fair. Do you feel like you have some inspiration flowing now for your show that you will begin very soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need to know where to, you know, post the dang thing because, you know, with the iPad and the, you know, the setup that we had prior to what we figured out now with the audio situation, I can use GarageBand and just kind of record thoughts, whatever they are, whatever they be, you know, and kind of have like, you know, I was trying to use it's a AI program, Suno.
Okay.
And it does music and things like that.
Interesting.
And I've used it before. With other stuff. A friend of mine had introduced me to it, and so I was like, "Oh, cool!" So I played around with it, and I was trying to play around with because the beautiful thing about, you know, AI, it can do anything. You know, I don't need to hire somebody. I'm fully aware that, you know, hey, the logo I created, I'll give credit to ChatGPT. I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter. The intro that, you know, I end up with, it's probably going to go through Suno, and it might just turn around and be the music. I can put it through GarageBand and then put my voice over the top of it. Honestly, I'm not looking to, monetize. I'm not looking to, get sponsors. I'm just looking to just get me out there, because what this damn last convention taught me, and you have said it yourself, is I've got something. I can sit here and hum and haw about it all I want, but there are people out there that want to hear it. So if they want to hear it, subscribe to it, whatever. Like, I don't know. I just want to do it and just get it done. It was a lot of fun. There was a guy that I met who gushed all over this costume. He was also like, "You got something going on there, dude. Like, you're dark, mysterious. Like, whoa." He goes, "I'm even intimidated just talking to you." And I'm just like, "Dude, come on, come here. You're my friend. Let's go."
Do you have a fog machine?
Do I have a fog machine? No, I do not have a fog machine.
Spirit Halloween is coming around in, see, it's February now. 3 weeks, because that's how capitalism works. Get one and experiment with that just for fun, because I feel like that might be a fun little video effect that you can add for like TikTok videos and your podcast videos, and just it will add to the mysterious and darkness effect, like not darkness effect, but like the mysterious and dark. And like, come on, you have a wrestling background. Let's go. What were they known for? They have fog machines up the wazoo. They also have pyrotechnics, but I don't recommend that.
Theatrics!
So it fits perfectly. I actually kind of wish I had a fog machine now, but I have used a candle on camera, so I have added to the aesthetic.
There you go. Well, hey, I'm also, about 5 months ago, I got into writing poetry and haikus and stuff again. I used to do that back when I was like 13, trying to, impress girls and stuff like that. And I was corny as heck. But now with, the internet and, other, things out there at your disposal, you can kind of fine tune, what you want to say, without having to sit there and mull it over for 5 months and finally come up with something. A lot of my thoughts I'll filter through ChatGPT. And if you look at my Facebook, you'll see a lot of the things that I was like, wow, that's really good. Fuck it. I'll just put it out there. Is it my writing specifically? No. But it's just something that I put in a prompt and was like, wow, that's really cool. And then all the other sensual memes that I post, I'm kind of like, ooh, that's pretty good. So, the podcast probably could get, a little X-rated to where, wherever I want to go. And that's
just
the
be
unfiltered
sure you might
part.
specify that in case any unsuspecting and unwilling creatures inhabit the lands.
Right. Of course. But, that's where I'm going to have to like navigate that stuff and like, okay, how do I, this episode is kind of for mature audiences. I don't, you know what I mean?
There might be a few ways to do that. In the Substack platform, there's actually a way to label episodes as like 18 plus. Same with like YouTube. There's settings for that. And then I'm not sure about Spotify, maybe. And then you could just do it like in titles or descriptions, like have it in like parentheses or like next to emojis or something where it's like 18 plus for the slightly more adult and after hours videos.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat.
I have a lot of different avenues that, I can go on. Also, as you can see, I'm, at times I'm very just boom, energetic, like go, I got something to say. Hold on, let me press record and just say something. I got something on my mind. Whether it's coherent or not, I've got something to say. So it's just put it out there. Content, content, content. Regardless if it's good or bad, whatever. Just put it out there.
There's a
And
go ahead.
that's basically where I'm at. I'm just kind of like, you know what? I've had this in me for a while, so just do something. I even showed my daughter my logo and she kind of looked, I'm like, oh yeah, cringy, huh? And she's like, yeah, Dad. I'm just like, whatever,
It's
but
actually kind of cool, but hey, whatever.
well, that picture, I showed you the original picture that logo was based off of.
Mhm.
And I see a lot of like, because Rasputin was known as the Mad Monk
Mhm.
because he was very religious and he was there with the inner circle of the Russian royal family and all that. And, there you go. And there are Mad Monk podcasts. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So I was like, what's another word for mad? Okay, maniacal. I'm like, okay, that's a nice word. So let me create the Maniacal Monk podcast and throw my image in there like this. And I was like, dang, dude, that came out pretty cool. And there was only a little tweaks that I did to it. I liked the black background that I created better with a white border kind of outlining the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of nice. So stick with that and make an intro of something. And once I've got that, then let me get my first subject. It's going to be very soon. I just need to know where to post it because obviously I can, like I previously said, I can do it on GarageBand with my setup and then just edit it, toss things in there, boom, send it off.
Let's try you on the Substack platform. See how you like that. It's easy,
Okay,
no money, pretty self-explanatory. What do you think?
perfect.
Okay. Okay.
That fits right in my budget. I like that.
I will. You want me to just send you a referral link or something like that? I can do that.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. And then, since I have background knowledge with that, and there's a lot of people in the Substack world who are pretty helpful, I think anyway, we can, I can be available to ask questions or answer questions. I can be helpful.
Cool.
um, let's see. I'm excited that you're starting this because, like, regardless if someone posts once a day or 100 times a week or 100 times, I don't know, as long as like people are conversing and like talking and sharing their thoughts, I feel like that's actually something humans used to do, specifically around campfires after the hunting day was done. But regardless, we don't talk like we used to or commune like we used to. And I'm excited to see where you take your own show and how my show and your show can collaborate and mix and meld. But what was I gonna say? Sorry, my cohabitator's cat is. Both of them are being annoying. um, so distraction. We'll try you on Substack. I have some people in mind who can probably like be good people for you to meet and talk to and hang out with. And then have you given any thought to going live on TikTok? Or wait, which there's a certain follower count you have to hit, and I feel like you might actually have that. Have you gone live on TikTok yet?
No, I'm only at like 566 followers. on TikTok.
We'll start posting your shorts and stuff there as well. See if we can get you some more followers, because I think you have to be at 1,000 before you can start going live. It's either that or 500. I don't know. I've been at way too many for way too long. I still swear to God, most of them are bots, and they happened back in the day when I was first on TikTok in 2018, before I abandoned the app for 2 years. I don't know if they're human. I would feel very bad for calling them bots if they're human, but none of them interact, so I'm suspicious.
Right.
Clearly
I've
bot.
seen the I've seen the setup where people have got like a bunch of, cell phones and stuff, and it's all, run automatically. So,
Lovely.
yeah, there's a good there's a good chunk of bots out there and stuff. So
One of my least favorite things, that second TikTok I have where it's all just my spoken word poetry and stuff. I have maybe like 10 to 15 new followers every time I go back to that profile, and it's all from people who are like sugar daddies. And I'm like, I don't think you're real. There's no way you're real. And number one, I don't really want to accept money from strangers on the internet like that. Thank you. Like, donate to the podcast via the Cash App if you really want to make me a sugar baby. Thank you.
And find a way to put the link below.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So it's just like, I don't understand what the sickness is there. I feel like that profile is now diseased. So that's something to watch out for in the future. Watch out for bot scammers. They exist.
Oh, I've come across, the, hey, baby, how you doing? And it's like, nope. Like, don't even care. Like, not engaging at all.
You just want me for my money and soul. You don't want me for my brain.
Shoot. See, and I'm going to transition on that one. That's where, my new interest.
Is it more tea time?
It's all, it's intellectual. I mean, of course, it's, it's physical, yeah. But it's very intellectual, and it's been a very long time where I've had somebody just accept me for me. My flaws, and when you've poured into so many people's cups for so long, you wonder when somebody's going to pour into yours. And when you finally recognize it and you finally have it and it just fucking comes out of nowhere. I mean, I'm still in shock. Like I'm stammering as I'm I can't. Because it just came out of left field. Of course, I've been looking like crazy, But then, and it's not like a nervous, like, I want to get crazy energy. It's a nervous, calming energy at the same time. It's something I've never felt before. I didn't feel like this when I got married. Like, I married my high school sweetheart. We were together 10 years. And then life, we were together. We were boyfriend, girlfriend 10 years. And then we married on our 10-year anniversary to the date. And then 6 years after, we were divorced. 3 years after having the kid. And I've been divorced 10 years. And the dating scene now is disgusting. Been there, done that. And it's like, man, what the heck? And then something comes along and literally punches you in the stomach. And you're just like, not in a bad way either. Because it can't. It came out of nowhere. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to keep saying to myself, don't fuck this up, stupid.
One thing I've learned from relationships and the many relationship therapists I follow online, communication is key. Very much so.
Yeah. Yes. And it's not very hard nowadays to frickin' communicate.
No.
It doesn't take but 15 seconds to send a text message. Hey, I'm going to be busy all day. I'll call you later. I'll talk to you later.
And you guys have communicated your messaging needs and everything beforehand, so that's kind of nice too, the fact that you're compatible on that level.
And that was the wonderful thing. It's like, hey, at least communicate once a day. That's all she asked.
Mm.
And I'm like, baby girl, I'm a communicator. I'm like you. I'm a talker. So, yeah, you're going to be getting text messages in the morning. You're going to be getting the good mornings and the, hey, I just woke up. What's happening? I'm a hopeless romantic when it comes to that stuff. Like, you're in my life, you're number one. I don't care about anybody else. Like, it's you and you only. And she turned around and she snatched me up. I will never say that I snatched her up. She snatched me up. And it's like, wow. And I look forward to seeing her again.
I love collecting people's love stories, so tell me everything from the beginning again.
Well, the beginning starts with her. Because she saw me at the convention.
Before we continue and I cut you off, are we going to have to get her on the show as well with you at the same time and just have a... I'm going to be careful with my choice of words here. Are we going to have a 3-way conversation?
Well, that would be kind of hard because she lives in Florida.
Does she have a Discord or a Gmail account?
I don't know, and I'm not sure if she would feel comfortable. So that
something
would be...
to explore and ask, because I like people a lot, and it feels weird not giving someone that we're talking about right now the ability to have the stage themselves and share their own story,
She knows I was going to talk about her. I told her prior to the podcast that she was going to be subject of conversation.
Good.
Because I can't help myself. Like I told you, now it's an hour and 24 minutes old. The information.
Well, now that I so rudely cut you off, let's start at the beginning again. And you said it starts with her?
It starts with her because she recognized me first. And as I said, I guess a lot of people recognize me, but,
She's the one that snatched you up.
At the time this was a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't this past convention that happened a week ago.
This was a couple of years ago, before or after you started wearing the Rasputin monk getup?
This is what attracted, and apparently others. But it was like and she was married at the time, so it was just kind of like, oh, there's that hot Rasputin guy. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, no harm, no foul.
Just looking, you can look but not touch kind of thing.
There you go. And apparently that opinion has been shared by a lot of other women. So fast forward to a week ago, I'm fluttering around the lobby of the the hotel that the convention is at, and then you go down the escalators, convention floor. But all the action happens in the lobby. She approached me and asked if she could take my picture, and I'm like, sure. She takes my picture. There we go. Then there was the costume masquerade. And you had to physically sign up for it. And she was sitting in a chair, like I am now, with a table in front of her, with a sign-up sheet. And truth be told, in 5 days, I killed a 24-pack to myself. So I had a good buzz going through the whole convention. So I'm talking to everybody, saying, hey, what's going on? Breaking the ice, liquid courage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but as I approached the table, I'm just kind of like, man, she's freaking hot. And I guess she felt the same way, but we just kind of left it at that. You know what I mean? And I think somehow she found me on Facebook, because there's a group on Facebook that a lot of people are a part of that go to this convention and stuff. That isn't the main convention group. It's like an offshoot. It's like friends, attendees, and family of this convention.
Okay.
So I guess, and a lot of people post their pictures up there, and, pictures that they've taken of cosplayers or with cosplayers and all that kind of stuff. Or with people that they met, the famous people that they met at the convention or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess she found me there and friend requested me there. So as soon as I saw that she friend requested me on Facebook, I accepted, shot my number right over to her, and here we are now.
An hour and how long into it?
28 minutes.
The fact that you're counting by the minute is actually super sweet. And I hope you show this episode to her.
She already knows I'm going to show it to her.
Okay. Is it going to be a cute...
She knows I want to talk about her.
Is it going to be a cute date night where you watch the episode together, or are you just going to send it to her and be like, I was thinking about you the whole time?
Oh, I've been thinking about her since I saw her sitting at that table. No, I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Sorry. I've been thinking about her since she took that picture of me that she asked for and turned around and walked away. I was like, hey, no. I mean, she caught my attention pretty quick. And then when she was sitting at that table, I was like, oh my goodness, sir. Oh man, okay, just be yourself. Just walk up and just talk to her and sign up.
Don't fall on your face. Don't fall on your face. Don't fall on your face.
Exactly. Don't stutter. Don't
say, hi, my name is Bob.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it just, yeah. It literally all started with her. And then I just felt the connection. It was a little rocky in the beginning, kind of communicating with each other, because it was both like, I didn't want to give off there's a video of me dancing with people and stuff at the convention, and I don't want to assume just because people are dancing with me that I'm going to touch them and dance with them and stuff. So same thing at the convention. I'm not going to assume that people want to, have me touch them, hug them, all this kind of stuff. So just being respectful. Same thing with, I turn around, I shoot my number off to somebody that thinks it's freaking hot, and it was just kind of like, let's see where it goes. And it was kind of confusing in the language at first, but we kind of figured it out.
Okay.
If it makes any sense without going into major detail.
Without the private details. No, that makes sense.
It was kind of like, well, because I was just trying to be respectful and not like, hey, dude, because, I'm pretty sure you've gotten your fair share of weirdos and things. You know what I mean? And guys are dumb. And it's like I didn't want to be that guy.
That's fair.
Because dudes, all of a sudden once they get comfortable or they just don't have any sense of anything, send pictures or do things, and it's just or say things, and it's just kind of like, all right, dude, like, come on, you're being a weirdo.
There's a right
So
way and a wrong way to do things, and I feel like you handled that well.
Well, I mean, I had to, because women are to be respected, just like men.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have that mutual respect for each other and move on and just kind of see where the universe takes us, I think it'll be a beautiful thing. And yeah, it sucks. She's in Florida, but guess what? She's a travel agent. So she gets, good stuff. And she's coming out here in March, a week after my birthday.
Ooh, okay.
So
get a little bit of belated Jeremiah. I really hope you know that song.
Well, I mean, I do.
Okay.
This is going to be the first time that we've seen each other since the convention.
I was making a joke. I just needed to throw that out there. I'm working on my comedy.
It's okay. Like I said, this is going to be the first time that we've seen each other since the convention. So it's like seeing each other all over again. There's going to be that nervous energy and just
the jitters and the butterflies and the whole dang zoo.
Oh yeah, and the shaking hands and the nervousness and the stuttering and it's going to be all there. And I'm
That's adorable.
Prepared. I'm prepared for it, and it's I'm gonna try to get the days off that she's still going to be out here. I don't know if I can, but it may just be a weekend thing, but at least she made the effort to just fuck it, I'm gonna go out there and see him. And I'm like, what? She sends me a picture like, yeah, I did a thing. I'm like, huh? Oh, you did a what? Oh man,
you're gonna come see me? That's so nice of
you. Yeah, but that's the thing. I dealt with breadcrumbs, dude. The last relationship I was in, if I didn't call, there was no contact. If I didn't text, there was nothing. If I didn't make plans, there was nothing. And I dealt with it for 7 years. There was 1 year we didn't see each other at all. We probably talked to each other every 4 months, if that.
Huh.
So the fact that this beautiful woman is willing to fly out here to see this guy, man.
I bet you kind of feel like you're wearing those moon shoes right now. I really hope you know what those shoes are.
I do.
I had them for a little bit. They were fun.
I haven't come off this cloud in a week. And now I've just been sent into the freaking stratosphere, dude. Are you kidding me? I want to go intergalactic. Let's do this. This is a ride, man. I haven't felt like this oh, man. I thought I felt like this recently, within the last 5 months. But that was my fault. That was all me.
I see.
The rules were there. I broke the rules. I messed up. And I caught feelings. They were not reciprocal. But
this one is reciprocal.
Subject. This one is very reciprocal. And it's like we're on the same freaking page. And I'm like, holy moly, I have not been on the same page with somebody like this in so long. I don't even know what to do. So just play it cool. Back off. Go slow. And see where it goes. Because what's meant to be is is meant to be. It'll last. And if you have open communication and just lay it out all on the table. Most people by now would be like, dude, you got some like major red flags. I don't like you, you know. Goodbye. I'm like, whatever. This one?
But she likes you for who you are, red flags and all, which is the best thing for a relationship. Because, like, here's the thing. Everyone's always a work in progress, no matter what. All of us have stuff to work on, and if you can't accept someone at their their worst self on any level, no matter what that area is, you're not going to deserve them at their, most healed and most wise version.
My lady, you are wise beyond your years.
I've gotten told that a few times.
My goodness. That's amazing. Because, yeah, we all have our stuff. But if we're willing to work together, beautiful things will happen.
Agreed.
We support each other, beautiful things will happen. You walk side by side. Yeah, hey, sometimes they say, oh, equal relationship. Nah. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it's like this. But as long as you got each other's backs and there's clear communication, where's the problem? And you both dig each other like crazy, where's the problem? There is no problem.
I can't seem to find one.
So
let's just go. Adds up.
Okay, great. There's distance. So what? One day that distance will be gapped, But the fact that she's willing to do what she wants to do, I'm like, dude, man, I didn't ask nobody nothing. It just happened.
She just decided for herself. That's awesome.
Well, it's no plans, no like, well, we're going to talk about it or whatever. No, it just
happened.
Hey, I did a thing. And I'm like, man, it must be serious. And I'm just like, whoa.
I love that.
That's like, whoa.
Sometimes I feel like Cupid, where I like watching people's love stories because I'm sitting here like, or no, an inactive simulant or sim god. Have you ever played The Sims?
Yes.
Okay, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm just watching people's love stories happen, and I'm taking notes, and I'm like, all right, adding that to my future writing. Not adding That's a little X-rated. Oh, I see. Maybe I'll add that to an X-rated writing. I love stories like this because it's always like, yes, please tell me about your love story, because I don't know. I feel like that's the one thing that humans have that's also a universal thing, is the ability to love.
But here's also the other thing. Yeah. But here's also the other thing. You also have to have the conversation of, hey, listen, because we both love going to this convention.
Mm-hmm.
She is very well known at this convention. I'm just me. So if for some reason this doesn't work out, like, let's be friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I wanted to base things on friends first. And not just be a horn dog and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I could have been weird and, taken the opportunity when the opportunity presented itself. And it's just like, nah, dude, why you got to do that?
Just
to have an actual
get to know each other
conversation with somebody, versus just being dumb. I learned a lot from my last situation. Personally, myself. And it was like, all right, dude, look out for this, look out for that, and, make sure everybody's on the same page and there's no confusion. Because there was a lot of confusion. And that's what I didn't like.
Being
And
confused
that's
is never
why
a good thing.
and that's why I was just kind of like, you know what? I gotta remove myself. And I removed myself, and it hurt. So I walked into that convention hurt like a son of a gun. And she had just gotten dumped, I think, the day before the convention because the dude that she was talking to decided to go back to his ex-girlfriend. Dummy. So the universe turned around and made room for the both of us. Boom! Look what happened. Power couple. What's happening? How you like me now?
Divine timing.
Talent.
Well, hey, on that divine timing note, I have no idea what time it is, but I do need to start getting dinner prepared at some point because I haven't eaten at all today. We're gonna have English words. We're gonna have to schedule another episode soon because I like having a conversation with you, and who knows? Maybe it'll actually be me on your show. You're not saying no?
That would be awesome.
Okay, cool. Cool. I will get with you after the show as like posted and everything, and then also just share with you the stuff that I promised I'd share with you to help you get set up and started.
Cool.
I don't think you need to change your logo at all. I think it's great. Keep it as is for now. Maybe adjust it for the different sizes, but that's all you. I don't know how to do that. With that being said, what do you want to leave the viewers on for this last set part of the episode? What are 3 to 5 sentences that you want to tell everybody?
3 to 5, I can just sum it up real quick. You never know what'll happen. Just do it. Just be you.
Love that. That's a very good message. All right. Well, as always, I will share your links in the description below so people can find more of you. Cool. Since we're probably going to go ahead and post your show on your own YouTube, can you send me your YouTube link in the Discord chat? Okay.
I will.
Thank you. And with that being said, Chris, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope everyone who listened to this episode enjoyed it. Thank you all for sharing your time with us. And as always, humans of Earth, keep going, don't stop, and don't forget to breathe. Love you.